Hey everyone, I am still in Dubai, and in the previous episode we checked out yummy Middle Eastern sweets at the Dubai Mall and had an amazing Iraqi meal. Today we are taking a road trip to Abu Dhabi. So we are on our way to Abu Dhabi and our friends over here have made us some karak, which is a sweetened milk tea infused with cardamom. Is there just cardamom? Is there anything else in it?
And sugar.
Sugar.
Most important
Most important ingredient
ingredient.
is sugar. And I'm about to try it. I've heard all about this tea, and this is the thing to try here. Oh, it's not too sweet, and it's not too milky rich. It's actually a really nice balance of the bitter tannic tea, the cardamom, and then just that subtle milkiness. And apparently it's sort of like a drive-through, right? Like you can go through like a shop and just sit in your car, order the tea.
Yes.
That's perfect. So Abu Dhabi is the capital of the UAE, and there are many, many impressive structures here, even though Dubai is sort of known for that. We just drove past the twin towers that have automatic sensors for opening and closing window coverings. They almost look from afar like a cocoon, and they sense heat. If it's hot, they close. If it's cool, they open. How cool is that? And we're now about to go under the longest tunnel in the UAE. The highlight of our drive was the stunning mosque, which is the largest in the country, and it houses the largest carpet in the world. At the entrance of the Louvre, we were directed to park pretty far away, but that is not a problem because there's a shuttle to take you to the museum. And on the way there, you get to see the magnificent Louvre in its massive entirety. My first impression of this is it's just massive. Absolutely massive. Like, I feel like the word massive doesn't even do it justice. It's so big. It looks like a big dome, a flattish dome with really intricate layers. Cannot wait to see what it looks like on the inside. The overall design is minimalistic and clean, but the coolest part of the museum is that it's built right on the water. Needless to say, the exhibits were all fascinating, but I was super excited to see this famous Van Gogh, a few Picassos, and this painting from the Mr. Bean movie. Does anyone know what I'm talking about here? So the pieces themselves are obviously wonderful and impressive, but I am equally impressed by the structure of the museum itself, the ceiling, the floor, the mounting of each piece. There's so much thought put into this place, so much attention to detail. So this part of the museum is my most favorite part. It is what I believe is the center of the dome. It's kind of outdoors. There are no walls, so you can see sort of the wind on my hair. It's breathtaking. I cannot describe to you the grandness of this place. I mean, you feel so small, and you look up at this intricate roof that's layers and layers, and it's letting out dots of light that's sort of decorating the floor. It's absolutely gorgeous. And the water is all around us. The water is turquoise. It's absolutely beautiful color. And by the way, water around this area is not always beautiful and blue. Some parts are kind of murky and brown. So this is something to behold. We headed back to Dubai for an authentic Emirati meal at a super cool place called Fanar. This place really takes you back in time. The restaurant is designed to reflect traditional Emirati homes and culture with all sorts of vintage household items and even a camel. And as always, I left all the food ordering to our local friends. So I have been waiting for this. We are at an Emirati restaurant, which is actually not easy to find here. And to start, right away they bring us a plate of dates drizzled with a sesame sauce, which looks so good. And apparently the idea is it's supposed to cleanse your palate, prep your palate for the meal that's about to come. So here it is. Oh wow. The sesame sauce is a little salty. They give you a plate for the seeds, and the saltiness and the nuttiness of the tahini balances out the sweet stickiness of the dates, and it makes it so much better. Wow, this is a magical combination. All right, I'm ready for food. So the food has arrived and I'm so excited about this. The first dish I'm going to try is something called trid. It was described to me as a soggy bread stew, but I love soggy food, so this really appealed to me. So it's a bread called Reqaq, beautiful chicken stew on top of it, and I've got some right here. Check this out. So I got a little piece of chicken drumstick, and look at this beautiful sort of tomatoey sauce. The smell of comfort food. The bread melts in your mouth. It's so flavorful. The chicken is super tender. Nice and tomatoey. The second dish is something called Machboos, and this is something people have told me you have to try it. And it's rice cooked with sauce, and you can choose fish, chicken, or whatever kind of meat. We've gotten beef, and it's this beautiful yellow rice, yellow basmati rice, right? And this beef is look how that just fell apart. It's so tender. Oh, I can smell all the spices. Good. That beef is incredibly tender, and the whatever sauce they use has penetrated all the way through. The rice has a little bit of a tang to it, so I suspect there's yogurt in it that's cooked with the rice, and just I can smell all the spices, some cinnamon for sure, probably cardamom in there, but my guess is it's just a ton of spices. Now, finally, biryani. Biryani is one of those dishes that I think exists in so many different cultures, including Thailand. We have a version of it, but this looks very different. It's lamb, and the rice is a lot whiter. So the biryani in Thailand, the rice is completely yellow, and there's some raisins. Oh, lentils, I think, maybe? Lentils, fried shallots, and this super tender lamb. So good. Upon just looking at the Machboos and the biryani, you might think they're very similar, but the flavors are actually very different. The biryani is more subtle. The rice is drier. It's not soaking the sauce in. There's no tang in the way that the Machboos has. And this is legit Emirati food. My duty here, my mission here is done. So our dessert has come. It is a donut, so you can't go wrong. It's a donut, come on. It's called gemat, and it's got this date syrup drizzled on top with some sesame seeds sprinkled on it. It's nice and hot. So I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Ooh, chewy on the inside. Excuse the use of my hand. Oh, it's quite yellow and chewy and rather dense. All right. Think donut, crispy on the outside, but the inside is not light and airy like an American donut. It's dense and chewy and super soft. Not that sweet. The sweetness all comes from the date syrup, which is so caramelly in flavor. The yellow color, as I've learned, comes from saffron. It's a beautiful, delicious dessert. You can really get hurt with those because they're so addictive and it's quite heavy. But what a way to end a meal. At the end of the meal, we were offered a sprinkle of rose water to freshen our hands, which was a very nice touch. And next time I'm here, I'm definitely coming when the outside is open because that seating looks cool. And that concludes my Dubai trip. If you missed the previous episodes, definitely check them out. The links are in the description below. And remember, you can always come hang out with me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.